You know what Raleigh needed? Public transportation. That's what. Look, I don't want to go on my soapbox about how, hey, for all the people who want to get in the way of actual good public transportation, I give you Saturday, okay? And the Stadium Series and the parking issues that occurred there's multiple layers to it, okay? Multiple layers to it. I'm upset at the NHL for not listening to people or not asking the right people. I'm upset that they did not do a tiered parking system. I'm upset that I dropped $84 total on 2 parking passes that nobody bothered to check. People got in with no parking pass. The people who did have parking pass were like, let me see your parking pass. They just held it up. I could have held up a piece of paper that said parking pass, and I probably would have gotten in. So I'd like my $84 back. All right? Kelly was stuck in traffic on Edwards Mill for a long time. There was a bunch of people stuck on Edwards Mill. Shout out to our friends at the Mixed Morning Show who were trying to get to the stadium and then just turned around and there was video footage all the way going through. Here's Brian Lord doing some work for his big show, talking to listeners about how long they had been stuck in traffic.
This is what we call Raleigh not at its finest. Right?
What'd you say to RPD?
I said, I don't know if you're aware, but you have total gridlock on Edwards Mill Road because there's no traffic with Wade Avenue, no control. So the box is completely blocked. Nobody's moving anywhere.
And what did they say?
They said, thank you for reporting it.
And that was it. Have a nice day.
Pretty much.
Did they have you fill out a survey at the end? How'd we do?
They did ask my name and phone number. But that's about it. I'm just looking at this. This is a black eye for the city. I mean, this is one of the greatest events we've ever held, at least in the 30 years I've been here. And this is what we do to showcase our great city.
This jeopardizes the chance of being able to do this again.
So that's Brian Lord from the Mixed Morning Show talking to some people who were stuck on Edwards Mills, just like they were. And Gary Bettman had done an interview, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman had done an interview with Adam Gold ahead of the game. He got about 5 minutes. And Gary, Gary was in the mode. Man, Gary's feeling it. Gary's always believed in this market. I give Gary Bettman a lot of credit. He's always believed in this market. And here's Gary with Adam Gold, just kind of like, 30 years in the making.
I actually was at a reception today where I was asked to give some welcoming remarks. And I said, if 30 years ago I told anybody in this room we were going to have a professional hockey team in North Carolina, you would have thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
And if 25 years ago when the team came, we said there's going to come a point where we play a game outdoors in a football stadium and 57,000 people are going to come, you wouldn't have believed it. What a great, great story hockey has been here in the Triangle. Pete Carmanos had a vision, and Tom Dundon has done an incredible job of really making this team was super competitive and making it an even more important part of the community.
So that's Gary Bettman with Adam Gold ahead of the game, commissioner of the NHL. Then Joe sees Gary Bettman in the elevator in Vaughan Towers.
It wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same? Not the same vibe?
No.
Did the jersey come out?
There was a lot of jersey because there's a lot of frustration, right? Like
I felt like this was Gary's moment to go, I'm back home.
Pretty much.
This feels like I'm back in New York.
The way I look at it is I think people did leave early, and I think people tried to do their best. And the staffing for parking was not adequate.
Yeah.
And the police and highway patrol presence was not adequate. And it wasn't where it should have been. And that gets back to the NHL, and ultimately it's Gary Bettman's name on the menu, on the billboard. So those are decisions that the NHL made. Those are decisions that they made with NC State because they were hosting the game. NC State was the facility. They purchased the game from the Canes, put the game at NC State. In conjunction, they make decisions about parking. They used NC State's parking service, but not the system.
Yeah.
That's big mistake number
Huge
one.
mistake.
They didn't have enough people working the parking. Big mistake number two.
It's being cheap.
And the traffic number three. I know from NC State, from covering NC State, when you have the FOIA documents, you get contracts, you got to pay time and a half. Well, guess what? It would have been worth it to avoid all of the headaches that a lot of people had. And by the way, Joe, this wasn't and you say 40 and you're joking about the 80. You're joking. You're doing your best Frank Costanza for the $84. I get that part.
No, I'm not actually.
Well, you are for the bit. But the price of the tickets it was big, and people paid a lot of money because they did want to enjoy a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, I dropped like $400. How much did you drop?
Don't want to know.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you want to enjoy it. You don't want to be frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a 2 hour, so even if you built in 2 hours in your car to make a 20-minute drive, okay, you did that.
Yeah.
You get to the parking area. There's not enough people working there. Now you add another hour, and then the ticket gates were another 45 minutes to an hour wait to get into the building.
Yeah.
And that's on the NHL. That's cutting corners. That's being cheap. So I said Gary Bettman's getting on the elevator. I said, Gary. He didn't listen to me. Then I gave him that hard Gary. I gave him that Jersey Gary.
Can you give it to me?
Gary. And he turned around like his mom just yelled at him. And I'm like, next time you have an event here in Raleigh, you need to ask a local how to run it.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we did. And I said, who? And he said, the police. I like Sting. I'm like, what? And he goes, the police. I go, well, not the right police. I said, because there wasn't any on I-40. There wasn't any on Wade Avenue. There wasn't any on Edwards Mill where they should have been.
I like that you hit him with the Gary.
Oh, I gave him the hard Gary.
And then, by the way, I'm not doing a Costanza. I'm not doing a bit, all right? I'm trying to pay for a remodel, bro. Any money is going to count. So look at the camera. Focus on me. Focus on me. Hey, Gary, NHL, somebody in the offices, camera on me. Look at me. I want my $84. Give me my $84 back because that's ridiculous.